So my name is Hayley. I'm studying a Bachelor of Occupational Therapy and I'm in my second year of study this year.
I'm Jake, studying Sport Development, and I'm in my second year.
Yeah. My name's Tan. I'm studying midwifery and I just finished, so I'm waiting for graduation. I'm from a little island called Norfolk Island and it's got a mixed Polynesian and English history.
My name's Danielle and I'm a second year nursing student at Griffith University on the Gold Coast.
I think going into the course, I expected it to be quite confronting, having never been exposed to something like this before, and I was aware that I had a very superficial understanding, so I thought that I had a lot to learn from it.
I expected a lot of stats and a lot of hands-off sort of teaching, which you find in a lot of the other health courses. I did not expect to be so connected to a lot of the course content.
I've done a health degree before and then I also started a Masters in Public Health, and I was really disappointed by how the information was presented, so I thought it might be the same about like doom and gloom and, you know, statistics this and, you know, not very empowering. But then I had heard before that there was a new curriculum framework, and so I was a bit hopeful.
Coming into this course, I expected that I was going to learn about common illnesses that are affecting the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. I did learn that, but I learnt so much more as well. I learnt really why these illnesses affect people differently, and it has a lot to do with social determinants of health and also a lot to do with the history and how that carries forward and can affect health today.
Yeah, I think they definitely have. I think coming in, I adopted most of the stereotypes that are in mainstream society that you hear every day, and I think it took a while I was kind of confronted in myself because I had believed that for so long, and then actually hearing what was going on, yeah, it was eye-opening and it definitely changed the way I thought.
Definitely. With a history of being dispossessed, I wasn't sure where my cultural identity where I could find it, and it was an emotional journey for me. Going from being really unsure to not only being sure of myself at the end, but actually being an advocate for Indigenous peoples.
Yeah, I think they have. I think with the gained knowledge, your perceptions can change, and mine definitely, looking back on colonisation and how Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people were treated after that, it really gives you an insight into how that affects people's health today.
It's an emotional journey, definitely. For me it was. Having to reflect, like a lot of inner reflection sort of thing, and coming to terms with it was a challenge, but knowing, with a lot of the help of the staff, knowing that it's always going to be good on the other side, like you'd have to face a lot of these things, face a lot of your perceptions.
Personally, probably just listening to some of the conversations. It was a bit hard to kind of stomach some of the attitudes and things like that. And I just thought it was fabulous. There's so much there's so much humility and leadership in the teaching team, you know. So if someone felt like they wanted to bring something up, even though most of the room knew it was probably not very politically correct, they were just so open and coming from a place of, thanks for saying that, thanks for asking us, thanks for bringing it up, we want to talk about this.
Personally, during this course, I think I felt a little bit of guilt when I look back on the past and realised that there's so much of the history that I wasn't aware of. And then especially looking at statistics today at how the mortality rate is so high and the health disparities still exist today, it makes you feel very guilty and kind of angry as well. Academically as well, one of the essays was a reflective piece. So I put a lot of effort into studying and reading a lot of the journal articles, and it was just shocking. Some of the material that I read just really made me go like, wow, I can't believe that I didn't know Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders were treated so badly. And I think it's so important as a nurse to be able to be aware of all of the past and how this is affecting the future.
I think it's very relevant as sport can be used as a vehicle for a lot of social cohesion, and there's always a lot of racial tension, along with a lot of misunderstanding with Indigenous culture. Sport as well, it's one of the best ways for a holistic living and living a healthy lifestyle, which there is a lot of challenges for Indigenous people in that regard.
I think it's so relevant because it's teaching a basis of understanding where people are coming from. I think you can apply the principles of, respect and communication and advocacy and everything to anyone. Everyone has a culture. I was especially proud that it was talking about First Peoples culture and people were understanding more about the history. I think that was really important.
It was so relevant because what I learned is that a lot of the first Australians, they don't live rural, they don't live remote, they're living on the eastern coast of Australia, and where I am in the southeast corner is one of the fastest growing areas. So this is where I live, this is where I want to work, so it's so important.
Yeah, I feel like I know how to approach the situation and then whatever I don't know to ask from them to explain it to me.
Very. I actually can't wait.
I feel ready. It's actually something that I really want to work with and just to champion the voices of First Peoples and encourage First Peoples women or men, if they want to become midwives and serve their communities. It's kind of my life purpose now.